During the first two sessions of town meeting on May 6th and 8th, members engaged in thorough discussions and voted on matters concerning the town's expenditures for the upcoming year and changes to the town's zoning and general bylaws. However, they left some potentially controversial topics, such as a citizen's position to restrict the size of houses for another night. Here are the highlights of the annual town meeting so far.
Following the performance by the Needham High School Chorale, the first session began with the Finance Committee presenting the town's fiscal situation. With several costly projects on the horizon requiring borrowing, Needham is expected to surpass its own debt limit policy soon and likely continue facing this situation through 2040. These projects include the $300 million Pollard Middle School renovation and expansion, the $75 million Mitchell Elementary School reconstruction, and the $3 million Quiet Zone construction, and more. Committee Chair Carol Smith-Fischetti suggested maximizing the use of free cash and reserve funds to alleviate the tax burden on property owners. The Finance Committee also sought to scrutinize two expenses they deemed lacking in clarity, which are $80,000 for planning consulting assistants and $50,000 for scientific consultants. Planning Board Chair Adam Block clarified that $800,000 would be allocated for consultants to assist in the review of large houses, townwide regulations on affordable housing requirements, rezoning Needham Center, and revising the parking bylaw. However, the Finance Committee raised concerns about the unspecified costs and timing for each initiative.
Is all $80,000 going to be going to our large home study? Or is it $40,000 for that and $40,000 for something else? That's the specificity that we go through in our budget with each of the departments, and we ask them to tell us what they're going to be spending the funds on. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're expecting. That was not presented to us here.
The $50,000 request for scientific consultants for the Board of Health faced similar skepticism. The Select Board expressed support for this appropriation to address emerging health issues in which public health employees and officials lack expertise.
For example, in the recent past, the Board of Health used $50,000 from a similar warrant article to pay for the unexpected environmental testing of Claxton Field.
The Finance Committee considered it redundant, citing the town's reserve funds designated for emergent situations. Town meeting approved both fundings by a majority vote. Discussions regarding the new construction of the Needham Housing Authority's Linden Chamber Complex continued into the second night. There are 4 articles on the warrant relating to this matter. Articles 18 and 19 create an affordable housing district that would allow the NHA's proposal for 2 4-story buildings accommodating 247 units, a 50% increase from the current unit counts. Article 22 requests $5.5 million from the Community Preservation Act Fund for the redevelopment of the Linden Street site, while Article 41 aims to remove restrictions limiting housing to elderly tenants. Although the zoning addresses housing for tenants earning no more than 80% of the area median income, approximately $80,000 for a single person in Needham, Reg Foster, chair of the NHA, anticipated future tenants would fall within the 30 to 40% income range, similar to its current occupants. Some raised concerns regarding insufficient parking space, stormwater capacity, and the impact on nearby wetlands.
Don't jump in too quickly.
None of the proper engineering studies or hydrology studies have been done to see what kind of an impact that would have.
Planning Board Chair Adam Block noted the project would still undergo a site plan review after the zoning change was approved, during which many raised issues could be discussed. Supporters urged changes to address the housing crisis and improve tenants' living conditions.
This is a dream come true if it happens.
We need to look at the common good and act in the common good.
Town officials emphasized the town's investment of $5.5 million is crucial for completing the $84 million project, which can facilitate obtaining federal and state funding.
One of the things that they are looking for is commitment of the town. And the way to show commitment, in part, is to remove the zoning barriers, etc. But one of the important ways to show commitment is by putting money down.
The appropriation would be paid out as a form of reimbursement.
The Housing Authority will not receive any monies. No developer will receive any monies until those expenses are incurred and until we have inspected and approved them.
Some advocated for senior and disabled residents, worrying the removal of restrictions would lower their priority.
Why should senior housing and disabled housing be sacrificed in order to create an affordable housing district.
Town meeting approved the zoning change and appropriation, but was unable to vote on the occupancy restrictions during the first 2 sessions. The bylaw amendment to expand the application of solar energy systems passed, despite concerns about ground-mounted solar arrays in residential areas, which met the counter-argument that environmental benefits outweigh personal preferences.
The real impact of this will probably be minimal because most people that have small yards won't build this. And living in SRB, if I wanted to put a statue of Rocky Balboa arm wrestling SpongeBob SquarePants, I could do it, and you as a neighbor would have no say over what goes in my yard. I feel the same way about a solar array. Most people will put it on their homes, and for the greater good of climate and energy independence, we should just support it as is, knowing that the impact will be minimal.
Town meeting rejected a motion to reduce the height of ground-mounted solar arrays from 8 feet to 4 feet.
A 4-foot height array would be at such an angle that it would be utterly useless.
Town meeting approved the $226 million operating budget for FY 2025, a 5.5% increase over the current fiscal year, including $97 million for the district and $1.8 million for Minuteman High School. Additionally, town meeting authorized the use of nearly $3 million in free cash to conduct the feasibility study for the expansion and renovation of Pollard Middle School, a prerequisite for potentially receiving 20% reimbursement from the Massachusetts School Building Authority for the estimated $313 million total cost. Town meeting will reconvene at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, May 13th for a 3rd session.